Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Bolt, on another video. Yes, you've read that title correctly. I'm going to explain everything as far as I know. Okay, so, the case with the lockdown. So it all started when I'm going to actually go back to when I first arrived at Mission Bay High School. So I arrived at roughly 8:25, 8:30. So that gives me about 15-20 minutes until I need to be in my first period. Now, first period goes smoothly, no interruptions. I just do my work. It's a special class where you can just do your work, and when you're done, I like this class because, once you're done with the work, you can just chill and play video games. It's, of course, as long as you're getting good grades and you got all your schoolwork completed for that day, or any schoolwork that you have to do, you can do in that class, which is the beauty of that class. Second period, which is Spanish. Well, now, how this is set up, it's set up in A and B days, so I have 8 classes, but it's broken into 4 classes per day, periods 1 through 4 on A days, and 5 through 8 on the next day. I'm just gonna keep referring to this as period 2, because that's it's technically the second period of that day, even though in my entire schedule it's the 6th. So yeah, the 6th. So in Spanish, we're just working on some things we just passed in our homework that we've completed. In this, I arrived, so it's about an hour. So period 1 lasts from 8:45 to 8:45. And it's an hour, a little over an hour, so it'd be like 10:13. It's weird times, but yeah, that's how it's from. And then we have 5 minutes to get to the next class. So at roughly, so at 10:18, we report to a second period class of the day, which is Spanish. So we completed the homework. What we do is we do some online work and get this packet. And so I'm working on this packet, and this is at roughly 10:30 now. So it's 10:30. I'm like, oh no. This is 11:30. So I've been in for a little over an hour. 10:13 to 11:45. 10:18 to 11:45. So it's about a little more. It's more than an hour. So this is So this was the last 15 minutes of class. That's when the whole ordeal took place. So I was just minding my own business, doing the work, doing what you're supposed to do. And so all of a sudden, I hear this bell. So it's like the bell, but it's longer. It's, I knew something was up. Like, that was not your typical go to your next period class, because first of all, we had 15 minutes till class, and typically there's a shower bell for PE to get undressed and potentially shower. But that's usually 10 minutes. We had 15, a little more than 15 minutes left of class. So that was very strange. I didn't know what was going on. That's when I knew something was wrong, because the bell, it wasn't time to change classes yet. And then these administrators came rushing in. They were all frantic, and what they actually did was they pulled us out of the class. They all told us to go out, leave everything. Alright, basically, evacuate the crashed airplane. Leave everything. And so I was like, is this a drill? Nobody told us about a drill. And I'm like, wait, because typically the fire bell would be ring, 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 and this was ring. This was a longer. This was not your fire bell. I've never heard the fire bell at the high school, not yet, so I'm not entirely certain if that's the fire bell. They pulled us out of class, and I was like, uh-oh. And so I'm praying to God, I'm like, please, is there a fire here? And then they all shoved us right back. I was like, nope. It was like, now if this was a fire drill, they'd probably pull us into the field. You'd imagine, right? The field. But, yeah, so they shoved us back in. Okay. So, they shoved us back in. Sorry for that interruption. My brother came in. But anyway, so, yeah, so they shoved us back in. They told us, lock down the doors, lock the windows, close the curtains, and basically stay silent. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. Because nobody told me about a drill. It's not a drill, by the way. This is real. This was a real incident that took place. And I was like, now my mind instantly went to an active shooter. Because I was like, that's probably the big reason why, that's, what everybody was thinking. That somebody had a gun and, that they were wreaking havoc. Which, there was havoc, of course. So, now my mind was like, oh my god. And we sat back in the seat, and I'm like, do I call the police? Because obviously, I knew that the office was, calling the cops already. The police were already on their way. And now people had their phones out, like, trying to text one, like, oh my god, what on earth is going on? It's the most intense feeling in the entire universe. So, yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I thought there was an active shooter. I tried to listen out for gunshots, but bang, bang, bang. I didn't hear any, so I was like, okay, maybe they're on the other side of the school, because it's a pretty big school. It's like, so then I started contacting my mom, texting, like, oh my god, there's a sudden lockdown, sent it, and she knows, her friend, actually knows a lot of people at the school, and, like, and she contacted her, and then they tried to figure out what was going on, but then there was other people who had their phones, and they were also contacting their families, like, oh my god, what's going on, and, like, oh my god, there's a sudden lockdown, and this is absolutely terrifying, we were all scared stiff. Now, I didn't really have any time to be scared, because, I was confused a lot. I was like, what on earth is happening? Like, nope, I tried asking the teacher what's going on. He didn't know, so it's like, oh my god. So we were basically in the unknown, and that's extra terrifying, because you don't know what on earth is out there. It could be an active shooter, could be someone just causing havoc, it could be destroying things, it could be a general threat, in other ways, but, and so eventually my mom got back, and so this is what happened. So there was this kid who was frustrated with, I don't know what, they might have failed a test, might have failed a test, or get a bad grade, which, listen, I understand, it's no good, I don't like getting bad grades, it happens, we forget things, or we underestimate how hard classes will be, particularly Spanish, which, my grade's fine, not for now, however, but because it's early on the year, so, they can be frustrated with that. I understand that. But what they did was they literally took their fist and started breaking windows. So we have these little cases where they have posters in there of the school bulletin, up today there's a football game that I'm going to today. So as soon as I'm uploading this video, I'm gonna might go, I don't know, depends on how long this video takes to upload. So today's the 17th if I do not upload it today, so which is a Friday. So this kid was destroying these glass, and they were just being a general threat because they kicked a trash can. Someone shared a video. They hit someone. I believe they hit someone too. I'm not certain. I think they hit somebody or hit another glass window, and so they were being a threat. Because being a threat to our safety and health. Because if they wanted to, because they were in this state of anger and just frustration, that they could easily seriously injure one of us. They could have killed us, so that's why we went to lockdown, because they were being a threat. They were being a general threat to health and safety, and the school doesn't want to take any chances of them, being too enraged to the point that they will injure a student, staff member, or anything. And yes, they actually did injure someone. They did. So the school is pretty big, so the janitor would usually ride on this golf cart thing. So they actually hijacked a golf cart, and they nailed an administrator, hit them. I did not see it because we were obviously in lockdown. So now this is what I've been told by other students, that they hit somebody with a golf cart, and that the person was injured. I mean, I'd imagine, or the person that got hit. I'd imagine, but so in the process, so they did. So I don't know when the police began pulling up to the school to deal with it, but when they were hitting the windows, they hurt their fist. So I saw blood drops. I'm like, when I was in passing period, I was like, oh no, because I knew good and well what that was. Alright, I knew good and well. So what they did was they later fled, so they had to call in the helicopters. I was like, okay, that's intense. Because, that's kind of a little bit too much, bit excessive, for someone that's not like an active shooter or anything, but they were still being a threat to our health and safety. They could kill us, they could seriously injure us, I don't know what's going on, so they fled the scene. I think they were still on campus, because I believe it was locked down, it was shut, and school was in session, so I imagine the gates would be closed. So they eventually found the person. I have no idea. They probably were arrested. I'd imagine they'd be charged with assaulting someone with golf cart, and also breaking destruction of property, but which is hitting the the glass windows, or the cases for things. So yeah, it was definitely absolutely terrifying, because I thought I didn't know what was going on. And yes, it was still pretty much a very serious incident that was happening, because they could easily have seriously injured somebody if they wanted to. Which they actually wound up doing. So it's crazy. So they want to make sure that we were as safe as possible. So if I was face to face with this guy, yes, I could have easily been I could have been seriously injured or worse. So yeah, that's probably the reason why they locked us down, because they want to keep us safe and making sure that they can't injure us should we come in contact. Well, we won't come in contact if we're locked down, but to keep us away from coming into contact from this person who is threatening or is being enraged and hitting a bunch of things. So listen, I don't know what was going on. I don't know what they were, why they were doing it. They might have been frustrated, which I understand, but, you know, I wouldn't typically go to that extreme lengths to the point that I'm arrested for doing something very violent and very dangerous for everybody at school. So that is my lockdown story. Do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Like always, I will catch you on another one. Peace. Oh, by the way, I got a fun challenge for you. If you can put the timestamp where you find my brother Logan in the comment section below, if you're the first one to do it, I will feature you on the next video.